Welcome back, everyone. Well, it comes to no surprise to any of you that follow us that our appreciation for the arts and education and how the two work together, by the way, is really very fundamental to the way we think about our community. Really meaning the value that the arts bring to the well-being and the inspiration to all of us that happen to live here. And recently, I'm a little late to the party on this one, but my guest, Sue Kessler, is the chair of the Saratoga Arts Commission. So first I want to welcome you, Sue. Very nice to have you here.
It's so nice to be here. Thanks.
I was talking to Meg Kelly, our mayor in Saratoga, and your name had come up, and I said, geez, I don't know who that is. So of course Sue looked at me like I had three heads, like, where have you been?
I'm all around town.
And she said to contact you because of the panel series that you were doing, and also just let people know more about what the Arts Commission is about. I read the mission statement, Sue. Very, very focused, all about close cooperation with the artists and the businesses in the community to enrich and enhance our lives. You have an interesting background. Bushwick Star. I had to look that one up. So let's talk a bit about your background, how you got involved in this.
Sure, absolutely. I'll try to make it quick. So I actually went to Skidmore College in the late 90s, and I was actually a studio arts major with a focus in a concentration in photography. But I did, being a good liberal arts student, a good Renaissance woman, I flitted around to many other departments at Skidmore, mainly found myself wandering over to the theater building and getting involved. So I had a love of theater from a very young age as well. So basically I became part of a theater company that had formed at Skidmore and then went and moved down to New York City after graduation. And so lived down there for 15 years, developed this company, and along the way founded the Bushwick Star Theater with a few other of our company members, basically. It was sort of a transition from having a producing theater company to having an actual venue. And that venue, the Bushwick Star, was founded officially in 2007 and has gone on to grow and become a really wonderful cultural institution in Brooklyn, and serves emerging artists and established artists who want to experiment and try new things. We do a full season of all new work, and our mission is sort of based on the principle that we're really interested in artists versus work, meaning that we don't go scout for particular shows. We kind of go see a bunch of stuff and we fall in love with the artist and the person, and we say, we're interested in you and we want to know what you want to do next. So that's sort of how we base our programming. And then everything was growing and going along hunky-dory down there. And then my husband was tapped for a position back up at Skidmore College at our alma mater. This was in 2014. We had a 2-year-old at the time, and we were feeling a little, wanderlust and maybe getting out of the city with our young child. And we're looking to relocate to a commutable town. Saratoga is not a little further away than we had originally planned on. But the opportunity, he's also in theater, he's a lighting designer and video designer, and had been teaching in colleges in and around New York City at the time, and was really lusting after going into a program much like Skidmore Theater's program, where he had studied. So it was sort of like this strange, fateful moment of like sort of an opportunity we couldn't pass up. And so we decided to take a leap and move back up here in 2014. We rented a house just to see if it felt like a good fit. I was sort of panicking because my theater at the time was going through a major growth spurt institutionally. And I was like, how am I going to remain as involved as I feel like I need to do? So that first year was a little harrowing, but we, bless my staff and bless Zoom. Video conferencing was, I think just coming of age at that time, and it was so useful to me to be able to really continue to do what I do down there. And I did commute. Before the pandemic, between then and now, I was commuting down to my theater probably every other week or so, sometimes even every week. and it's worked out wonderfully. And I feel like I hate to say, but stepped into having the best of both worlds. So I'm really grateful.
Well, you know what? My wife and I were very young parents, like you and your husband,
Mm.
and had a baby at the time and settled into Saratoga, and I've never turned back. It's such
Oh
a
yeah.
it's such a wonderful area to raise a child and
It
actually be
is.
involved in the things that apparently we love to do, which is the creative side of the world
I know, it's
and
such an
the
artsy
arts.
town,
Don't you
and it was
love
so
it?
interesting
So
to
look,
see the oh yeah.
I do believe that Joanne Yepsen actually had the idea of the Arts Commission.
She did. She did.
Meg grabbed it and
Hmm.
of course turned it into the organization that it is now. You've been there, I think, 3 years, you were telling me.
That's about right. Yeah.
And tell me about the mission. Tell me why you think it's important that Saratoga have an arts commission.
Absolutely. So I think Saratoga is a really interesting city because it has an incredibly rich history, in many facets, but also when you think about the sort of aesthetic flavor of the town, the history that's there, what people think of when they think of the arts in Saratoga. They have a pretty specific, potentially a pretty specific thing in their head. But also, this town, I think, is really progressive and actually strives for innovative ideas and new things. So it felt like the commission was a really important way to try to combine those two ideas. So upholding the tradition and all the things that are wonderful about the history of our city while pushing forward and maybe entertaining some new ideas and new looks, and having a commission basically in place to manage those policies. So basically, this is a group of elected individuals. They're elected by the mayor and the other city commissioners, and we are all city residents. We are all arts professionals in many different facets of art. So visual arts, performing arts. We have an architect on the board and things like that. And so what we basically offer is when there's a new project, particularly, for example, a new building project, and they are required to provide a public civic space or public art of some kind. We are in place so that we can offer resources and ideas and connect them to local artists and things like that, so that it doesn't feel sort of like people can throw up whatever statue they want or sprinkle anything around, down on Broadway just because they have an idea and some money to throw at it. We're a little bit of I hate to use the word watchdog agency because it has a negative connotation, but we try to have the city's best interests in mind when fielding new proposals, talking through new projects, and really just trying to provide help and be a resource to these people who might have an awesome idea, but perhaps didn't think about, like, oh, have you thought about putting it in this park instead of that park because it's got more
Well, you know what it
So
is. It plays to everyone's strengths. Historical preservation works very similarly
yes,
because some people are very skilled at developing properties. I've got some very close friends in Saratoga who are developers. But a
right,
lot of times, they need they're great at what they do, and
hmm,
that combining of the talent is really what makes that project really shine. If you think
right,
about it, also the other thing that I noticed about the commission was that it encourages people to be creative. It encourages people to be involved in the arts.
hmm,
The joke I always told Sue was that when I was young, they said, go play the guitar now, but when you're done with that, take up accounting. And I thought to myself, well, the chances of that happening are zero.
right.
So, proof positive, there's a guitar about 4 feet from my face
Of
right now.
course, me too.
But yeah, there's a lot of value when we talk about enriching the community, not only on the face of the community, but the heart of the community as well. And so, give me a sense about how you see that, how the arts interface with what the commission is doing to interface with the arts in education or with kids or things like that.
Absolutely. So we do believe that the arts in Saratoga, first of all, I mean, there are so many arts institutions, offerings, educational programs, like you said, the town is sort of bursting at the seams with them. Some of them are a lot more prominent than others. So I think a lot of what the commission wants to do to sort of highlight what you're saying and really raise up all of the arts, wonderful arts offerings in the city, is to connect people. It feels a little bit what Saratoga could use is perhaps a more cohesive platform so that people could really know and understand all the different arts happening, not only just in the summer during the track season or during like the tourist season, but throughout the whole year. What's happening on Beekman Street? What's happening at Skidmore? What's happening, in smaller galleries and places like, people's home studios or like sculpture gardens on their farm, things like that. So our our main focus right now is to try to create a little bit more of a network, get people talking, and these panels were sort of, I felt like a really great galvanization of that, of like, let's get everyone together and just talk, because there's so many exciting things going on. And I know that people, you can find listings on the city website and whatnot, but it just feels like this is a moment more than ever to celebrate the positivity in our community through any challenging moment in the world. People really do look to the arts for guidance, inspiration, an outlet, and it feels like this. We as the commission can really help do something here to bring people together, keep people talking, and do that in front of the community, so that also we can hear ideas from people in the community. We had wonderful things come in the chat on those panels from artists that were like feeding ideas to SPAC or whatever. And Elizabeth Sobel, oh, that's a great idea. It's sort of like, this is what we need right now. And I think,
well, what you're talking about there, of course, is collaboration. I want to bring our audience up to date on something. Sue's referencing some panels that, if you've been on our platforms, you saw the first one. It was a wonderful conversation between some of the leaders in the arts community. And there was a second one that they just held yesterday that we will be running next week. And it gives a face to UPH, Teddy Foster, gives a face to SPAC, Elizabeth Sobel, gives a face to Lena, Sarah Craig. All of a sudden, these are people discussing our neighbors. These are the people right in our community. Boy, Sue, we hit the wall on time too quickly in this conversation. I can't believe it. I really want to invite you back again anytime to talk about projects that you're working on, and I really want our audience to look up the Saratoga Arts Commission, see what's going on there, see how we might contribute in terms of resources or ideas, or maybe both.
That would be great. Yeah, find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, the Saratoga Springs Arts Commission Facebook group, and it's an open group. Anyone can join. That's the easiest way to
yes,
connect
great.
with us.
Good. Okay, and congratulations to you on all the good work that you're doing. And boy, we sure do share that the arts really contribute so much to the economy, to the well-being of our community. Right?
Absolutely.
It's the heart. It's the heartbeat. So. So great, Sue. Thank you for taking the time. Nice to.
Thank you for having me. This was so nice. Thanks.
Take care.